language to them. It would be wonderful if I can go to Upper East and be able to speak the language of Upper East. It would be nice if I can go to Greater Accra and speak their language. It's always a great opportunity. But unfortunately, it's not possible for everybody to speak every language. So the current General Secretary we have speaks two languages. One is English, the other is Twi. Before him, the General Secretary before him was called Josiah Aye. He spoke two as well, English and Ga. Now before him was Hudu Yaya, who actually spoke English and Dagbani. So virtually we've had General Secretary I've spoken two. I happen to actually have three. I speak English, I speak even my maternal language. I also speak French. So the advantage... now, it's important to also understand that it's good to have capacity to be able to speak to everybody locally. But the job of the General Secretary is not the same as the job of the youth organizer, or the job of the organizer, or the job of the women organizer, or the job of the Zongo caucus. Your job as a General Secretary is to be one who can help coordinate all the departments, ensure that they all are effective. So I need to be able to make sure that the problem that confront the youth department are resolved. The problem that confront the women department are resolved. The one that confront the women, the organization itself is resolved. The one that confront the communication is resolved. I used to be a communication officer for this party, and I spoke only English and ever. And we actually had the most brilliant communication in the history of our party. Now that I'm going to General Secretary, where I'm not even the one in charge of the communication, you can imagine how much better I can do. Now, one of the ways you also do is to make sure you have assistants who can communicate different languages as well. So as communication officer, I spoke English. I had one very able assistant known as Anita Disusu, and she spoke Twi. I had another one who actually could speak the northern languages and speak Hausa. So when we go into the Hausa community, my second one speaks. When we go to the northern part, she speaks. When we go to Twi areas, Anita Disusu speaks. When it comes to English, I speak. That is what leadership is about, making sure you put together a solid team that can attack different people. Now, so if you hear some people desperate today to create the impression that you can only become General Secretary if you speak one particular language, it tells you that they don't have a message. They really don't have a message. So they believe that the only way they can win is to say that I can speak, Twi and Ga. But somehow, the person who is leading in that one completely forget that with even the language capacity, he failed to collate results on time for this party. It's not everything I can disclose in public as yet, because some of it I feel I need to exclusively have that conversation with the delegates of this party and speak to them home to home in terms of what it is we can do, for example, that can give confidence back to our workers. That's the first one. But in terms of the general things that we can do, one thing I can promise is that we want to stand on the shoulders of the work that has been done by the current General Secretary in order to take this party to the next level. That level means, for example, this party has to become increasingly more data-driven. So, for instance, I should be at the party headquarters right here and be able to real-time know what is happening in Beno Clinic, which is my own branch in Ketu South in Aplawa. I should be able to know in real time. I shouldn't have a situation where I don't have an idea what's happening in different branches, different constituencies at the same time. To do that means the party must be much more data-driven. And you can trust that we will make sure we reach that level. So, for example, if I can know what's happening in Beno Clinic on a daily basis, I'm able, for example, to coordinate with the Ketu South chairman, who is right here, with the branch chairman in that Beno Clinic to find what solutions should be brought to that particular branch on a daily basis. The same way, we should be able to know what are ways in which we can increase our vote in different places. You know, this thing is not, the days where people thought the leadership is all about chobo hey, those days are long gone. You understand? It's a scientific age to be able to understand what is going on, have a comprehensive understanding, and draw solutions. You understand? So I believe that is how we ought to go to the next level. In terms of the youth in particular, I can tell you, my greatest passion is how to find ways in which we can unleash the creativity of young people. I believe this party has got millions of young people who have very creative solutions. I say that because having been in position as a communication person of this party, some of the people who gave me some of the greatest satisfaction were young people I work with. Those young people, I set up, for example, the Setting the Record Straight with. They were young guys who brought beautiful ideas and were able to accomplish so much together. When, for example, I took upon myself to collate results for this party, I can tell you, 90% of the guys who are working with were just young guys, both in 2008 and 2012. And they were dynamic, were able to find solutions, and got that job done for the party very quickly. In all positions I've been, whether as a finance minister, deputy minister, or transport minister, or a Greek minister, you speak to young people, they'll tell you if there was one person who was constantly very passionate about ensuring that young people were involved, their solutions were found, they could be in the forefront of things. That's me. So if there's one group in NDC that should be celebrating, it's young people. Coming for general secretary who's really passionate about them. My aim is that we should turn this party into a party where young people are so creative that becomes a competition for MPP to want to also have young people who can be as equally creative as us. So it becomes a competition of excellence that can actually make this country a better country.